Okay, here we go. Doing our live free training on Milky Way photography and the Perseid Meteor Shower. It is now 8:30, so I'm going to give folks a few minutes to jump on, and then we'll get started. I'm Chris Olivas, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I might go through this a little bit quick. I'm going to give folks just a minute to jump in so that we can get started. Thank you for being here. We're about 10 days out from the next really good opportunity to shoot the Milky Way as well as the Perseid Meteor Shower. So pretty pumped about that, pretty stoked about that. So I'm going to give folks a few minutes to jump in and then we will get started. This is one of the best times of the year to do any kind of astrophotography because we've got the daylight is starting to shorten. We got the Milky Way out nice and early in the night, and it is about vertical, about straight up and down nowadays, which is really great for shooting and not very hard to find. So pretty stoked for the next workshop coming up. It's going to be on August 12th in Borrego Springs, California. And that is going to be a special workshop because, like I said, this is going to be in conjunction with the peak of the Perseid Meteor Shower. So the Perseid Meteor Shower isn't just one night. It's about 2 or 3 weeks of meteors that will be falling through the sky. But that day is the best day because that's right when we'll be in the center of the asteroids from the comet that produced this regular meteor shower. And so we are going to also have very little moonlight. The moon won't be rising until about 3 a.m. on that day, which is the same day as which is the same time as the peak of the meteor shower. So it should be really good. Should be plenty of meteors, lots to see, lots to shoot, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm gonna get started because this is recording. So in case you don't know me, I'm Chris Olivas. I'm an educator and astrophotographer. I specialize in doing Milky Way photography, lining up moon shots, and I also love to teach my students about that. I teach middle school, and I take adults out on workshops, largely in Borrego Springs, California, but open to doing other locations like Joshua Tree National Park, Death Valley, Lone Pine, and Toronto Pinnacles. I've taken some folks out there, and it's a lot of fun. I got started with doing astrophotography maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. Didn't really have that much time during my day to do any hobbies because I had a newborn, my daughter, and I needed something I could do at night. That was just for me. And being a new father, you're up all night, every night with a crying baby. So I was like, well, might as well utilize this sleeping pattern that I've got and go out and shoot the stars. And I've been doing it ever since. I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's a really great challenge, a good combination of science, technology, art, and just the outdoors. And it's really safe if you go to the right places. It's I think a lot of new people getting used to doing astrophotography get a little scared, a little intimidated to go out in the dark by themselves, which is fair enough. Because if you don't know, you don't know. But I like to take people out to Borrego Springs, California, because it is a really safe community. It's a dark sky community, so they purposely turn their lights out, and it's also surrounded by a state park, so the lights are also permanently out over there. So let's get into the lesson. Gave folks a few minutes to jump on, but I think it's time that we start the lesson. So let me see if I can share my screen here. I've never done this before. So let's see here. Share my screen. I don't see the share screen button. Let's see. Where is that share screen button? I don't see it. No, this is share the link, not the screen. Where is it? Give me 1 second, guys. Where is it? How do I do that? I don't see where it is. That's going to be, okay. That's going to be the most important thing about this is sharing my screen. So let me see how I can do that. There really isn't anywhere to do that here in YouTube Studio. So I'm a little bit confused. No, don't leave the site. Maybe it's on our stream button. No. Nope. Okay, I guess it's not available on Facebook. Okay, that's not good. Well, there's nobody here, so I might not even do it. Sad. That's okay. I don't feel good, so I want to be done anyways. So we'll give it about 4 minutes, and then we'll probably pull the plug. There was 2 people with a like, though. So that's cool. I need to go to sleep. I feel horrible. How do I do this? On Zoom you can, but live on YouTube. That's super annoying. Okay, next time I'm gonna have to do this on Facebook Live, I guess. Bummer. Let's see, anybody here? Nope. Nope. Not Facebook Live. Come on, man. All right, I'm gonna give it 3 minutes. And yeah, I'm streaming through YouTube. Thanks, Artem. I don't know why it won't let me, so that's kind of a bust, but thank you for jumping in. Well, thanks, Artem. Either way, I guess I didn't know that you were here. It doesn't say any participants here. So I'm going to drop the slide deck in the chat, though, at least, so you can, I guess, kind of follow along if you want. Let me make sure this is accessible. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Shoot, well, I kind of like minimizes things, but since you're here, Artem, I'll help you out. So like I was saying, the Perseid Meteor Shower peaks on Saturday, and the reason why we have meteor showers in the first place is because they are the remnant dust and rocks and everything from comets. So Perseid meteor shower is actually from comet Swift-Tuttle's orbit, and every time the Earth comes around in an orbit back to the location of that debris, we see this meteor shower. So that's why it's like annual. All meteor showers are pretty annual. So we will see meteors like, a week or 2 before and after, which is pretty nice. If you're out at night, you can capture them even if you're not there during the main night. It's really easy to find. The source of the meteor shower is called the radiant, and being Perseids, it comes from the constellation Perseus, like the warrior who beheaded Medusa, and that is in the northeast area of the sky. Now, that's where the meteors come from, but doesn't mean that's where you're going to see them best. I really played around with seeing them from that direction and also the opposite. And I've seen kind of like equal amount of meteors in both directions. So I would suggest spending some time figuring it out on your own, pointing in one direction for a couple hours and the other for a couple hours, see where it's out best. Because you got to imagine meteors are coming over your head, so they'll come around to the side. It rises nearly after sunset, but when it's overhead is obviously the best time you could see it, because when those meteors are low on the horizon, you can't really see them very well. They don't really stand out. And we will have no moon until 3 a.m. So Saturday's great. Now how do you actually do it? So, like I said, you can point your camera up to the northwest or the opposite, southeast. I'm sorry, that should say northeast, my bad. Northeast or to the southwest. And you actually want to have a long exposure continuously going, like a time lapse would be best. Mainly just so that you're always capturing the potential meteors. I used to set my camera for 30 seconds long exposures with a very um, closed aperture, like f4 or whatever. And that actually was a big mistake. You actually want to have as much light sensitivity as possible. You want to have a high ISO, a low aperture, and just continuous time. Doesn't matter if it's 10, 15, or 30 seconds, just because there's so many times I've had the exposure go and I see a meteor, it looks great, and I have a low ISO and I won't see the whole length of the meteor. So I've developed this new technique to have a high ISO, and I've been able to be more successful in seeing those meteors with that. Also, depending on your focal length, you'll see the different sizes of the meteors. A very wide angle lens, like I have here on slide 23, is not like the best because the meteors look really small. So like a medium length, like even 24 to 35 is pretty good. This one right here on slide 25 is a 50 millimeter lens, and I thought that was really great. It's just hard because you don't have a big wide sky to capture. So it's kind of like a balance between those two things. Um, and then what else you're going to do is you are going to, yeah, like I said, keep that aperture going and just get a chair, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you move your camera around too much, you're going to miss them. So when I do my workshops, I tend to, for this one, I usually like to take people to several locations. For this one, we're going to do maybe just like three, but spend a long time at them so that you could see them. The Milky Way will also be bright out. It'll be in the south, like directly south, southwest. So it won't be lining up exactly with the Perseids, but like I said, you might get some Perseids that go overhead and get into your Milky Way shot, like the shot that I have on slide 25, which is pretty fun. So you kind of take a gamble, maybe spend half the time pointing at the radiant, half the time pointing at the Milky Way core, and you'll walk away with a lot of images. Um, so when I'm shooting toward the Milky Way core, I'm usually keeping all my settings pretty much the same, like f2 or so, something very low aperture. Again, like 10 to 20 second exposure times, and then a higher ISO so I could capture those meteors. And then at the end, I think I'll just um, I'll take like one exposure, really nice, like the proper settings for the Milky Way core, and then overlay them. That's what people do with meteors. You're never going to see anyone capture like 10 meteors in one shot. They overlay them, they mask them, and sometimes people even rotate the image so that it's true, so that it looks like the meteor is really coming from the radiant. Because if you can imagine, you're taking images for an hour, the sky is going to be, moving, moving, moving. And if you rewind it back to the original position when you start shooting, you'll see all the meteors coming from that radiant, which is pretty cool. It just takes a lot of work and effort. Sometimes I'm not really willing to do that if I don't have any like big ones and stuff like that. Okay, so like I said, I'm not feeling too good tonight, so I might cut it a little bit short, especially because I can't share my screen. Another tool that you should check out if you don't have the app Sky Guide or Stellarium is really good. Um, you can actually see in real time where exactly the meteors are going to go be in the sky, so that you have like a good idea, kind of like one of those augmented reality tools, which is super fun. I also really recommend using PhotoPills. PhotoPills has a feature specifically for meteor showers, so it'll show you exactly where it'll be in the sky. But again, it's going to be right up above most of the night, so it's pretty easy. You don't need to think too much about it, other than just be out there on August 12th. So that's a Saturday night. The peak is August 13th, at 3 a.m. So it's the same night. So if you're interested in joining my workshop, I still have a few spots left, only about like 2 or 3. They'll probably fill up in the next 10 days. So for being a part of this live stream, I think I emailed anybody who signed up a discount code. I can even type it in the chat, which is Meteor 23. So if you want to join us, like I said, we'll probably go to 3 locations focusing on the Milky Way and meteor showers and just shoot all night long in Borrego Springs. Really, really amazing place to capture it. Very easy to travel to. Such a great beginning learning place to go and advanced. There's so many different compositions you could do, and there's metal sculptures there. That's kind of like where I got the picture of the dinosaur and the meteors. It's really fun. Okay, so Artem, yes, definitely go no less than an hour for a time lapse, definitely. Because um, if you're going less than an hour, it's really, you might get like 3 or 4, to be honest. And you can utilize that time lapse too for like a video if you want, or even like some star trails. Whenever I'm doing star trails, you're kind of getting like 4 things in one. You'll get your meteor shower, you'll get your time lapse video, and then you could even do like some star trails. So you need to kind of be shooting for at least an hour to get any really good star trailing, depending on your lens. But you might as well, if you're out there, you might as well be shooting at least an hour. I would typically go, spend like an hour at each spot, and then at the end of the night, when I'm like ready to crash out, I'll just leave it going and then just fall asleep and see what I get the next day. Might as well go till the batteries die. Any other questions? Okay. Well, if you want to sign up, like I said, there's a discount code in the chat, Meteor 23. That'll get you $25 off of the workshop. Again, we will be at Borrego Springs on that Saturday night from about 8 o'clock ish, 8:30 to about midnight. But that doesn't mean you can't stay out and keep shooting, because I probably will, because we got to catch those meteors. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Artem, again, have your tripod ready. Have your camera settings ready to go. Like I said, an exposure about like 10 to 15 seconds, depending on your camera, a high ISO, and then just sit there and point and let it go. It's a little bit of an investment. Meteor showers are kind of a learning experience because you got to sit there and wait, and just hope. But that's kind of the fun of it too. If you go with a group of friends, and you kind of see them, it really makes it a lot of fun. So if you want to come with us, jump on our workshop. I can walk you through everything, especially how to set up your camera, the tripod, the right stuff, and where to point, and we'll get some meteors for sure. And if you aren't, then the other piece of advice is get out of town. You're not going to see very many meteors if you're in the city at all. You're going to want to jump. You're going to want to go somewhere where there's very little light pollution. So I don't know where you're located, but I'm in San Diego County, and there's plenty of dark sky locations within an hour or two of San Diego County. Like I said, Joshua Tree, Borrego Springs, Mount Laguna, all those areas are really good. Okay, cool. Yeah, Joshua Tree will be great. It just won't be as good as Borrego Springs. I'll tell you why. Because at this time of year, the core of Joshua Tree is a little bit more in the west of the sky, and that's where like Palm Springs and LA is, and there's actually a lot of light pollution. So although there's not a lot of light pollution above you, when you're pointing your camera at the Milky Way, you'll be like, oh my God, there's light pollution everywhere. But I have shot it out there. That's one of my first meteor shower shots. It's on slide 23, and as you can see, that was awesome. We got a lot of good meteors in there. So you really can't go wrong with Joshua Tree. You could even go really east, like really, really east, like past the main park, and you might find some really dark skies there. Would be cool. Or just really into the park, by like Arch Rock, or by like Cholla Cactus Garden. Just beware, because there's gonna be a lot of other people there. Joshua Tree gets crowded, like the main spots, like the Arch Rock and Skull Rock. Forget about it. It's gonna be not fun, because there's gonna be a lot of people there trying to do the same thing, turn their headlamps on, and all that stuff. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. All right, I think I'm going to close this out because you can tell I'm kind of a little under the weather. So thanks for tuning in. Again, if you want to jump on our workshop, it's going to be in about 10 days in Borrego Springs, Saturday, August 12th, kind of the last good weekend for shooting the Milky Way. So good luck. Have a good night.